Hello, welcome everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. I should start wearing that. What do you call it? Mic. Oh, yeah. I think about it, and then I put it down someplace. Here it is, but I forget to use it. I used to have another mic that was really good. Unfortunately, that mic I ended up. What happened to that mic? Oh, I lost the cord, a connection cord while moving. Hmm. I'm gonna need that in a moment. Lots to cover. Lots to cover right now. So, good morning, everybody. On Instagram and YouTube. Here we go. Well, if you're not paying attention, maybe you should. I think oil prices are now up to over $100 a barrel, which is not exactly good. I think just a premonition that's going to go up to 150. We are entering into the volatile times. And a lot of times people don't think this is going to affect them, or, oh, it never hits us here. It's going to hit, it might not, I mean, the war, you might not have bombs exploding in your backyard or missiles flying over top of your head, but you are going to see it when you go to the grocery store. You're going to see it when you go and fill up your vehicle. And I told people about a week or so ago, make sure that you keep your vehicle topped up. Make sure you have everything, backup, gas, and things like that for your vehicle. As things are going to start getting crazy. If you're not doing these things right now and you're just sitting around thinking everything's fine, I mean, this is the energy that's really going to get crazy, because what I see, it's like the ocean, right? So the beautiful ocean, here you go, the beautiful ocean, and it's so pristine on top, but down below, you know, it's where the tectonic plates are moving. Something immense is shifting, and that deep ocean floor, that's the collective reality. That's where things are starting to get cray cray. That's where these movements are starting to happen. We have Mercury in retrograde, and we have Jupiter going forward tomorrow. And this is where, especially with Jupiter in Cancer, that's our emotional body, our nervous system, the rib cage. If you ever, the Chariot card in the tarot is the Cancer card. You have the breastplate there. It's the protective plate. And this is protecting your heart and your lungs. And then there's the fluid of the body. So Jupiter's stationed direct in Cancer, the water moves. So this is water retention, fatigue, sinus drain, digestive shifts. Last night, I was just like, oh, what happened to my tummy? It just really upset. Emotional waves. This is a recalibration of the water within the archetype of the body, and the nervous system is learning a new current. This is also where you're going to see craziness when it comes to, when you think of water, you're just thinking of water, like the ocean or the lake or what comes out of your tap. But water it's fluid. So whatever's fluid, gas, oil, etc., right? That is what this all rules. So there's a recalibration of all this. And then there's a recalibration of what it is within our architecture of our body and our nervous system is learning the new currents, is learning how to digest this all. And it's the old emotional grid when it comes to the collective, when it comes to each of us as individuals, is dissolving. So there's a lot that's dissolving. And the six correspondence to harmony, the architecture of consciousness, one of them is Neptune. It's ruler of Pisces, it's ruler of the ocean. It dissolves of the illusion. And what I see is a digital grid, below it a void. So codes are being removed. These are new codes are being written and the protection above the grid. And that's reality. The old foundations seemed permanent, are being revealed as temporary. This is happening in a collective field right now. And you feel it. You feel it in your biology. You feel it in everything that you do. And because the reality is changing our biology, and when the biology recalibrates, your reality follows. And that's what we're at. We're at this water and fire convergence, Venus and Aries. I mean, Venus does not like to be in Aries. And she's there and she's meeting up with Saturn and Neptune. This is water and fire. This is emotional structure, dreams, and discipline. And there's a lot of energy that comes in with the dragons and the feeling of the dragons. The dragons are the guardians of the ley lines, the planetary memories, dimensional gateways, earth energetic grid. This is the ancient remembrance. The dragon field is reactivating because the planetary grid is shifting. You're going to be seeing more earthquakes, volcanoes, disruptions, currents, like waves, big waves coming in on coastal, areas. This is everything sort of shaking up and moving and shifting. And it's going to be very volatile. And we're recalibrating to hold more of this. And as we are, sometimes it gets to a frustration. This Wednesday is the 3/4 moon in Sag. Whew. I mean, that third quarter moon is going to be it's going to be crazy. It's going to be where you're going to find a lot of things coming into your face, old beliefs, old maps, old narratives, and the maps. And when I kept seeing the maps, and I've said this for a long time, things are shifting, borders are shifting. Borders that have been around for thousands of years are shifting, and the map is being redrawn. But it is settling beneath your feet, but new terrain is forming. So it feels very, very awkward. It feels very odd. Now, the weirdness of this all is, with this Jupiter going direct. And I'm not like Jupiter is okay, but I always seen him as one of those planets. Everybody loves Jupiter. Oh, Jupiter, Jupiter, Jupiter. Jupiter, I respect it, but I don't romanticize it. And Jupiter stationing direct is making the field weird. Not catastrophic, not a Pluto level, but strange. There's a mutation happening. There's a shift that's happening. And we can feel it, right? The sun is at 19 degrees Pisces. Mercury's retrograde in Pisces. Mars is in Pisces. The North Node is in Pisces. So we still have a lot of this Piscean energy. And the moon's gone from Scorpio to Sag. And when it's in Sag, and what does Sag do? It squares Pisces. Now we've got mutable, grand circus energy. We're going to see a lot of craziness that are going to be coming in, a lot of weird dancing. It's kind of like a carnival, weird abstract carnival energy coming in, and you're going to see the jugglers over here and the guy walking on the stilts over here and just coming down and just a lot of oddity of the world coming forth. And also what we're going to see within this is a lot of water dissolving and fire questioning. There's things that are going to be flip-flopping all around, narrative shifting. And what's that? We got to, wait. And what's behind that? Is that real? And I find it funny because we're hearing so much about masks. I mean, Jim Carrey had a mask and he starred in The Mask, and The Mask was just being a whole bunch of Jim Carrey movies were on. My husband was watching stuff. And this isn't just personal confusion, this is collective confusion. Now we got the whole collective confused because they're not sure what they're seeing, they're not sure what to believe. What is that mask that is being portrayed? And people are like, okay. I mean, as soon as the Jim Carrey thing came out, it was like everybody's like, oh, is this real? Is this real? I'm like, who? Like me, I was like, really? Why are you diving in that? You just look at it, you knew he wasn't fucking real. That's not him, unless he had a whole bunch of Botox all at once and he grew his hair overnight, as those certainly weren't extensions, and the eyes weren't even the same color. That's the first thing I look at. I look at people's eyes, right? And the eyes were not even the same. And I was like, not even the same fucking color. Like, how can people be so deceived? Right. But then, of course, it is a circus. People gather around. We got to get, got to get these people riled up and, yes, 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 it's him, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this circus being riled up. You're hearing about Iran and people, all of these protests were fake and blah, blah, blah. I know Iranians, right? Like some of them are my clients. I know this Iranian young man from from my Starbucks. And we talked about it, and it wasn't they were out on the street. He was worried about his sister. His house got raided in Iran just before everything really hit the fan. And the thing is that you can't trust the banks in Iran because you can put your money in, say you put $10 in, you go back, there's only $1. Because they take your money. You can't trust it. So a lot of people kept their stuff at home, and his sister was getting married, her fiance. Anyways, they were robbed. Everything stolen. Raiders came in and stolen. They were going around from house to house raiding houses, and everything was stolen. And this is the kind of thing is that you got to talk to the people. When you get to the ground roots and you start talking to the people, then you start really seeing the shifts. It's ironic that the United States propped up this government to be in there thinking that everything was going to be good, to now they're wanting to take it down because they know, holy fuck, that was a bad mistake. And that's part of the other shift, is that a lot of people don't understand that geopolitical. They don't understand the history of it. And this is being amplified tomorrow with Jupiter stationing. That's when the real shit's going to start happening. I already said between the 10th and the 15th, and that's when things are going to get magnified and maxed out. And we're going to be in something fully that by the 15th of April, we're not going to be able to come out. And I was listening to an astrologer. She's from Australia. She's really funny. And she was talking about that, with everything and about lockdowns and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, there is going to be definitely lockdowns, but it's not the lockdowns similar to what we had before. It's going to be different lockdowns, and the lockdowns are going to come because of the price of oil and how the oil is. When you have to pay right now, some gas stations, I got it at I got $1.30 yesterday or the other day in to fill up the SUV, and it cost me $30 because I'm really getting to a point where I'm not letting it go past half, trying to. But then we drove back by the same gas station. Within an hour, it was up to $1.43. Right now, gas is at anywhere from $1.43 to $1.57. That's nothing. That is nothing. I'm going to tell people that's nothing. Because gas prices, you're going to see them. And I've seen gas prices over $2 a liter. Right? I've seen gas prices when they're at $2.10. Many moons ago, in BC and stuff. We're going to see gas prices that are going to be like $3, $4, and even $5 or even higher a liter. not a gallon, a liter. This is where we're going to be starting to experience things, and that's where part of the lockdowns come in because people aren't going to travel. People aren't going to be able to go to places. Now you got to think, how is the ripple effect of that to the rest of the economy? Economists see, and they all agree, when prices get to $100 a barrel, and they're at 104, I believe, right now, that it becomes a world economy. And they're not opening anything up right away. Nothing's going to happen right away right now. We're not in this is not like, "Oh, we're gonna bomb them and everything's gonna be okay." That new guy that they just put in as the Ayatollah, whether they get rid of him or whatever they do, they seem to be chopping off their heads pretty fast, which I find kinda weird. But this one no. This one has come out from where they haven't seen him before. They haven't even heard him speak before, right? And this is where I think things are gonna get a lot crazier. Now, I've heard where people say, "Oh, United States has no more bombs." Fuck off. Like, are you serious? I've heard it on the news. I've heard it. I'm just like, "Come on." We're talking about these guys have been stockpiling for a long time. You think they haven't? You think Russian hasn't? Or China? Like Iran has tunnels, deep tunnels underneath, right? Where they've been waiting for this shit, right? They've been on a crazy shifting sands for a long time. And this is where things are just going to shift to a point where it's going to escalate. Other things that may affect you too is that when things get blown up, things happen, the weather isn't going to be all that great. You want the weather to be great, but then all of a sudden it gets because of smoke, because of some kind of eruption, some kind of explosion, right? So there's going to be a lot of things exploding, a lot of things disrupting, things are shifting. We're in a huge shifting energy and vibration. And it's not to scare you, but it's like to prepare you, to get you to be prepared for what's happening. I wrote on my Facebook, all roads lead to Constantinople, and and Constantinople is a very interesting spot that holds a lot of energy, and it's in Turkey, where there's going to be a lot of things that happen in Constantinople, a lot of things that are going to be revealed from there, because as it says, all roads lead there, and it's true because it used to be a big trading post. But there's also a lot of other things that are going to be coming out of there, and I think it has to do with the war and the war unfolding. Yeah, we're in World War III. Um, it's not going to end anytime soon. We are in a world of huge transformation and changes, and this is a year that is shaking the shit up. And that ocean that I keep seeing, that with the water and the light going on it, is it's very beautiful, it's very calm, but it's that rumbling underneath. It's the ocean floor that's moving and shifting, and I can just sometimes feel that shifting at times, and it gets unsettling because it vibrates through your body, and it's vibrating through, and it's shifting and changing. Hence, I'm doing my March, April, May container, right? And I'm doing that. I got, that done, but now I'm working on June, and I'm just like, holy fuck. June, July, and August are just like, yes, there's some calmness in there, but there is some rewriting on the wall there. This is also a time, if you're, to really start thinking of, how can I financially secure myself in some way? And that's an important part too. And many people are going to tell me that I know that you don't have money, you don't have this, and I'm just like, I'm no, no, you have to make sacrifices. You have to make the sacrifice, whatever that sacrifice is, to make sure that you have on hand. And there is going to be a shift where you're going to need whatever you have on hand. And I'm doing this out as a warning to people. It is where don't undervalue yourself, don't undercut yourself. And that's the other part too. There is gonna be where, and that's a huge lesson for myself that I've been learning. That's bringing in that clarity and a lot of endings that are like, "Okay, I know I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. This is my whole focus." My focus is on preparing, on getting people to a point, especially women from age 40 to 60, really prepared for what's coming forward and the transformations that are coming forward, not only within their own bodies, but within the shifting of the world around you and how to deal with that. Even though things are crazy and unstable, this is where you can have the stability within and the attention to that stability within. An old video came up of Dr. Wayne Dyer. Love him. Love him in the later years. Had issues with him in the early years, but um he talked about, getting outside, right? It doesn't matter. He goes, just even if yeah, he goes, he said, get outside as much as you can, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, even if it's just to stand out there, take a couple breaths, and come in. I know we live in Canada, weather's weird. We had a blizzard yesterday, blah blah blah. But get out of your house, like connect with nature in some way is going to be part of helping you with the new programming, helping you with that connection. Making sure that you're not eating a lot of processed foods. Be wary of your processed foods. Be wary of what it is that you're eating. And the sugar intake. Sugar intake is going to be a big one. So be aware of that sugar intake. How much sweets are you're eating? How many, what are you intaking? If you do a lot of baking, look at not using refined sugar. Maybe it's applesauce, maybe it's something else that you need to start adding in instead of that. So this is really getting into where we have to also look at what are we consuming and how are we consuming it all is going to be a very important piece as well. I mean, I love a chocolate bar every once in a while. Not as much anymore. But, to have that. Even I mean, I had a glass of wine yesterday. I didn't even finish my glass of wine because it was just like, "No, something's off. I can't no, not now." So I didn't finish it. Um, and I was it's like, you just don't do that. But that's where we're at. That's the energy, is that you're gonna find certain things may not sit with you fine, and that's okay. That's okay, right? So there is a lot that we're going through, and I think that we have to take stock in what's going on. And with this reset, I know with Venus, after she, with all of her conjunctions and everything that she's going to do with Saturn and Neptune, this is like she's going to be a whiny little bitch in Aries, and Venus as a whiny little bitch. It's not nice. Like she's not nice. So it's like almost where she's going to go in and your values, your identity, your money, your relationship, things get reset. I'm not doing it this way anymore. Wow. And it's like, it's in Aries. So it's like, no, we're not doing it. That fire energy. And Venus walks through every major planet since December. She's done the tour. She's sextiling Pluto. This is a rocket ignition energy. She's going to be walking towards Chiron. And that's real discomfort. That's where things are going to get really crazy. Chiron in Aries since 2018, 2019. Chiron in Aries has asked, can you move towards who you are, even if it fails, even if it's not perfect, even if it doesn't become what you imagine? That's the wound. Not knowing which direction to go isn't the problem. The fear of going and it going wrong, that's the problem. It's the fear. You got to. And again, the mask energy, the political masks, the media masks, the celebrity, AI confusion. This is real. This is not. There's no vulnerability in masks. So the medicine today is vulnerability. Mercury is trining over to Jupiter. We need to speak it. We need to journal it. We need to say the imperfect thing. Have the imperfect conversations. There's no perfect version of you right now. And that's the point. That's the point, right? So this is a moonshot meteor. And I keep feeling like this rocket, it's uncomfortable. It's tight, it's loud, its ignition, it's is weak. And now until April 5th, this is going to be a wild band. And after that, there's no going back. This is the Apollo mission on the next level. And sitting in the rocket is uncomfortable, but it's also exciting. So for us, the moon in Sag, squaring over to Pisces, adaptable in survival. You have to be adaptable. And you cannot Virgo your way out of this. So it won't look perfect. It won't feel organized. It won't arrive wrapped with a bow. Spiritually, it's perfect. Politically, it's fucking messy. Like messy. And beggars can't be choosers in this place. You choose the direction that isn't the old pattern, moves forward and feels honest. And this is where, I got the Page of Cups reversed. And that is, I feel emotionally stuck. I don't know what to do. It feels weird. And the Emperor has shown up. The Emperor shows up and he says, there are pauses before breakthroughs. You don't panic in the pause. You stabilize it. So for today, perspective, vulnerability, adaptability, not being a people pleaser, not wearing a mask. Venus is sextiling over to Pluto, and you are not responsible for managing everyone else's reaction to your authority. You don't need to rush, but you also don't hide. Jupiter turns direct tomorrow, and the story begins moving. So buckle up, baby, because it's going to get fucking crazy. And that's what my warning is for you today. Warning. I don't know if it's a warning. It's getting you to really look at, we're in for a ride of a lifetime. So to you all, may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all you say and all you be. If you're not in my March, April, May container, you still have time to join, definitely. And be a part of it. Let's grow this community stronger, more beautiful and vibrant and scrumptious and delicious as we all are. Have a blessed one, everybody. And we'll talk to you maybe tomorrow or sometime later on this week. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.